what saved my life was that I was not touched. The doctors came and they secured my neck and took me to hospital. Because the tolerance that I had remained from being who I am now and being a cabbage was very small, or even being dead.
All right. So,
exactly.
You know, you're still in hospital?
So now I'm in ICU. I'm in HDU. Tough time, Lynn, tough time, because now I'm having a meeting with myself and asking, what is this? God, why am I here? Lynn, you know, in hospital, you're washed by people, eh? You don't do things yourself. So I was being washed by nurses. My nakedness is nothing I hide now. Things you hide your whole life. Going to the bathroom, Lynn. Simple things as that. I couldn't do it myself. I had to be helped. So a nurse comes, they take you, they wipe you, they clean you. All those things that take away your dignity are being done. And at that time I was questioning God, asking him, why am I in this situation? Why did you allow this to happen to me? And I remember also it was a tough time because at that moment, our KDF armed forces had been attacked in Somalia. A village that had been bombed, not a village, they had been bombed from in their barracks or something. So there were a lot of them also coming into Nairobi for treatment. And I remember there's one also who was at the HD with me. And, you know, he was just next to me and I'd look at him because he was in a bad state. And one night he died when I was there, you know. And so going through all these things was really difficult. It was challenging. And I could imagine what my parents are going through, what my fiancé is going through. I'd ask myself, will she stay with me? Paralysis. You know, I'll probably never walk again. I'll probably never be able to be who I am. Will this chick stay with me? Those are all the questions I had. But I kept my nerve. I said I'll be patient to understand what is happening. So I think around 2 weeks later, I was moved to HDU, to a normal ward now. St. George's, bed number 6. I remember the bed, I'll never forget. And that night was when my life changed. Because when I was moved there, that's when I had an encounter with God. I was laying in bed, my neck restrained still there. I couldn't move much. And I had a voice, Lynn, very clear voice that I'd never heard before. And it told me, Daniel, now you're not too busy for me. You will be like this for a couple of months. But don't worry about your health. Don't worry about your job. Don't worry about your finances. Don't worry about anything. For your life is in my hands.
Whoa. Forgive me for asking, because this is a question I run into most of the times when especially someone says, I heard God talking to me. I heard the voice of God. How is this voice? Is it talking to you the way we are talking? Is it something you can hear at the back of your... Oh, how exactly was this communication?
I would have believed there's someone behind the curtain talking. You know, Lynn?
Yes.
Man is not only flesh. Man is flesh, spirit, and soul. God dwells in your spirit. But as we grow, we slowly kill the spirit man. Look at a child today. Children believe whatever you tell them. Children have a spiritual connection even to their parents. You know, my son knows even before I get home. That's what our house help tells me. That before, maybe 5 minutes before I get home, the guy will start saying, daddy, daddy, daddy. And kumbe, I'm just arriving. But as we grow, we stop believing that thing of the spirit and start believing too much on the flesh. If I can't touch it, if I don't see it, it's not there.
It's not there.
And that's how we all become.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, this time, God spoke to my spirit. Lynn, I had a very clear statement. And I remember, I just felt a heavy load get off my chest. Heavy load. In that moment, I rededicated my life to Christ.
Were you scared?
No.
You felt calm?
It was an understanding I have never experienced. It was something I've never experienced in my life.
Yeah.
At that exact moment, I just rededicated my life to Christ. Lynn, I gave up. I was like, I am done. I am done trying to do things for myself. I am done trying to be the one who controls things. You know, I'd always thought I am where I am because I went to school, because of the job I did.
Good. The cars you drive in.
Because it is me, you know, I sacrificed, you know, I did the hard work and now God is paying me back.
Yeah.
But I realize it's not me. It's the grace of a God who has created us for a plan and purpose. And so he knows why he put me in that hospital bed. And I'm telling you, Lynn, immediately that happened, my mind just started. Anything I'd ever read about God, anything I had ever put my mind to about God started making sense.
You are still partially paralyzed this
Yes.
time. You don't even know whether you're going to ever walk again. And God is telling you, you've been too busy for me.
You've been too busy
and
for
you are
me.
calm about it.
Yes. You know, that the nights before, I always used to ask myself, what are people saying about me? Uko nje wanaongea nini? Because, you know, everybody had come to see me in hospital. Everybody, my friends, my family, my colleagues. Sometimes back my dad had to put a stop on people who were coming because it was too much. It was full every day. And I'd ask myself, as they look at me there, what are they saying about me? Those things worried me. But Lynn, I'm telling you, when I heard that from God, everything just stopped matter. Didn't matter anymore. And I told God, Sawa, if this is what you've decided, then I'm game. You know, in hospital, there's normally a counselor who goes around counseling people. Because people lose it, eh? As you're asking me, you've paralyzed, you've lost everything. Are you okay? Are you mentally fine? And so this lady would come around and counsel us. So that evening, right after I dedicated my life to Christ, when she came to talk to me, I was the one counseling her. Imagine. As she was just listening to me. She just listened and listened. And she told me, Daniel, from now on, I'll be picking you up at 6 p.m. with a wheelchair.
Yeah.
And we go around with you, talk to other hospital patients.
Wow.
So I'd go and talk to accident patients. There's an accident that had happened at that time in Magadi. And a train had fallen. And some guys had broken their legs and their arms. It was really bad. And I made friends with them. So we'd meet every evening, have fruits together, and just talk. Because I'm telling you, at that point, God moved me from a point of knowledge. I knew God's word, but I never understood it. So I moved from
again?
I knew God's word. I told you I grew up in a family of God, isn't it?
But you never understood
I never
it.
understood what it was.
I feel that way sometimes. Yes. I feel I know God's word, but do I really understand what this word is all about?
Exactly. Because there's a guy, my mentor, Dr. Miles Monroe. I watch him, I love his videos, the late. And he says that wisdom is the most critical part in life. Because you could have knowledge and understanding and still not apply it. Wisdom is application of knowledge and understanding.
Wow.
So he gives an example of a smoking doctor, a doctor who smokes. Lynn, you and I know cigarettes are harmful.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
But for us, it's probably just a knowledge point.
Yeah.
The doctor goes further to understand it. Because if you ask him, he'll tell you a cigarette has certain carcinogens, certain chemicals that can do ABCD in your life. Okay?
But
thirdly, the doctor still smokes.
Yeah, the irony.
The irony of it. And so that's what he says, that sometimes with knowledge without understanding can be detrimental.
Yeah. And
so God brought an understanding to me about his word. And everything I just used to hear, I just started making sense. So it made sense. This is why Christ came and died for us. This is why for me, to give me a second chance. I remember at that time, Mutheki, that song for Nani, what's her name?
Size 8.
Size 8?
Yes.
Yeah. That jam used to give me tears. As in for real. That song gave me tears. Because of those Mutheki, I am who I am today. That Christ came and died for me. Sasa niko huru. I felt free. I was free. And that has been my life since then.